So today I received the prize of the bidding that I participated on last week. And I am happy that I'm finally opening it and seeing it in actual for the first time. Ito yung first time na magkakaroon ako ng ganitong coin. So right now, I am particularly excited to see and hold it. Tara, let's see it together. Dahan-dahan lang. Packaging nito sobrang sealed. Oops, may freebies. May freebies pa si boss. Alright, so this is it. This is the 1881 50 centavo coin. It's quite big compared to our modern 50 centavo coin. And we will discuss this more in detail in a short while. Okay. Alright, so tinanggal muna natin temporarily yung coin sa kanyang small packaging para makita natin ng malinaw yung detalye ng coin natin. Okay? So, this is the obverse side. So, in the obverse side, you can already notice 5 things. Okay? So, first one, you will notice yung name of King Alfonso XII engraved on the left side of the coin. Okay? The second one is the engraving at the right side, which is read at Por la G de Dios. The G is an abbreviation for gracia or grace. So if you want to read this directly, it reads as Por la Gracia de Dios. In English, this translates to by the grace of God. Okay. The third thing that you will notice, which is also the most prominent in this coin, is the bust center. So this is the bust of King Alfonso XII. The fourth thing that you will notice is at the bottom is the year 1881. So the year 1881 corresponds to the year when this coin was minted. And lastly, you will also notice the mint marks at both sides of the year, which is a 5-pointed star. Okay. Now, this coin is a 50 centavo coin that circulated in the Philippines during the Spanish era. But there is another 50 centavo coin with almost of the same design that was also used, but only in Spain. Now, one way to quickly differentiate which coin was in the Philippines and which one is not is by looking at the bust of King Alfonso the 12th. Yung circulated in the Philippines faces at the right side. While the other one, which is used in or which circulated in Spain, the bust of King Alfonso is facing at the left. Okay? Another distinct feature is the mint mark. Okay? If you can see this clearly, okay? If you can see this in a much closer look, okay, there. If you can see it clearly there, it's a 5-pointed star. But on the other hand, the other 50 centavo coin that I am talking about has a 6-pointed star. So that's one of the major differences between the two 50 centavo coin, both with King Alfonso XII as the bust center. If you look closely then on the figure of King Alfonso, okay, if you look closely, okay, you will notice something of like a scratch at his cheeks. Okay, that's actually not a scratch. This is in fact his beard. Okay, because in actuality, he looks like this. Okay, the mother of King Alfonso is Queen Isabella II, and during that time there is one gossip about the family of King Alfonso, particularly about his paternity, about his father. So although his legal father is known, it's King Francis of Assisi de Bourbon. There was a gossip that his real biological father is uncertain. One reason is because the husband of Queen Isabella II was allegedly presumed to be homosexual. So many thought that it's impossible for Francis of Assisi de Bourbon to have fathered a child with Isabella II. At the same time, Queen Isabel II is somewhat a little bit promiscuous, and there are a lot of men in her life that's presumed to be the father of King Alfonso XII. So King Alfonso ruled Spain from 1874 to 1885. So this type of coin, the 50 centavo coin, has actually 6 dates. This was minted and designed and circulated from 1880 to 1885. 1885 being the last year of reign of King Alfonso XII. So he's actually very young when he died. He was only 27 years old when he died of dysentery. And although he was a king, his life was not that easy, as many thought. His life was actually filled with gossips, rebellion, and war. On the edge naman, if you look at the edge of the coin, you will notice an engraving. So the engraving reads 3 words: Lei, Patria, Rei, which means law, country, and king. On the reverse side, you will see 4 things already. First is the word Rey Const de España, which literally means King of the Constitutional State of Spain. The second is the denomination 50 centavos de peso at the bottom. And on the centerpiece or the center figure is the Spanish coat of arms. Now, the Spanish coat of arms have different meanings. First, you will notice at the top of the coat of arms is the royal crown of Spain. This represents the type of government during that time, which is a constitutional monarchy. The shield in the center is divided into 4 quarters, which is united by a central figure at the middle. So the 4 quarters represents the different royal families during that time. And the central figure in the middle corresponds to the reigning royal house of Spain at the time of King Alfonso XII. There are also 2 pillars beside the shield, and they call this the Pillar of Hercules. And if you can look closely, both pillars have ribbons on it, and there is an engraving, small engraving on both ribbons. The engravings is actually read as Plus Ultra, which in English literally translates to further beyond. That is the royal motto of Spain during that time. So after discussing a small portion of the history of King Alfonso, at the same time talking about the details of this coin, the 50 centavo Alfonso II 1881 coin, we now go to the most important question of all. So if you are a fan of a Spanish Philippine coin and you're a collector, your most probable question right now at this point would be, what's the value? Diba? What's the value? Ano siya? Anong halaga niya? So the value of this coin depends in 3 things actually. So first, the rarity. Gaano ba kadami ang na-produce na 50 centavo 1881 coin during that time? The second is the age. Ilang taon na ba since then? Or from 1881 till today, how old is this coin? And lastly, the composition. Anong metal ba ang buo-buo sa coin na to? Okay? What type of metal does this coin comprises of? Okay, so let's break it down piece per piece. Okay? So let's start with rarity. 1881 Alfonso XII 50 centavo coin actually has 6 different years on it. Okay, so it was in circulation for 6 years. So the years that covers it is from 1880 to 1885. 1885 is the most recent and the youngest of the coins that produced within the series. Okay? The problem is in 1881, they decided to produce many of this type of coin. Although 1881 is one of the oldest, type of coin, during 1881 they decided to mass produce this coin. And in fact, in 1881 they produced 2.5 million pieces of 50 centavo Alfonso XII coin. So it's actually second of the most abundant or the most number of pieces produced during those series from 1880 to 1881. At this year, it's already 139 years old. Medyo matagal na. So that's a good factor. That's a plus point for this coin. Also, considering na 139 years old na siya, and it's still fairly in good condition. If you look at it, the details are still visible. You can still read the inscriptions, and it has still its natural luster. So it's in a fairly good condition considering that it's already 139 years old coin. So that's a good thing for this coin. And lastly, its composition. So this coin is predominantly composed of silver. 83% silver to be exact. That's a good factor because silver is not cheap. Okay? So what's now, diba? So ano ngayon? What's the verdict? What's the value of this coin considering those three factors? Rarity, the age, and composition. Well, if I'm going to be asked of my personal opinion, at this stage, which is what they call raw stage or the uncertified stage, the value can be placed between around 800 to 1,500 pesos. Of course, it's a little bit low because it's uncertified. First, we do not know if it's indeed a silver coin. Second, we do not know if it's authentic. It's original. Okay? So that's why it's around that range. But that's not bad. It's still 800 to 1,500 pesos. But for certified coins, that's where the real deal is. Certified coins value can be higher and can play between around 2,000 to 3,500 pesos. Could be a maximum of 5,000 pesos siguro in a good day. So it's very important if we could have this certified because that appreciates the value more. Alright! That's it! So if you like the video, don't forget to like and subscribe by clicking the thumbs up and subscribe button below. Make sure to hit also the bell so you can be notified of my succeeding videos. Thank you and I hope you learned something new today. Bye-bye!